there. How are you? It's Lori. I have a little header for this thing. Well, hello there. All right. This is Lori Tom, as I just mentioned. Lori Tom writes, and I am not your average English teacher. I am on a mission to help people fall in love with writing, and I do that by helping you write 3 little lines a day, also known as haiku. So I want to welcome all of you here, whether you're watching live or on the replay. If you can put down below where you're watching from, and don't be silly and say like my phone or my computer, like the actual location would be great. Anyway, I am coming to you from Palos Verdes, and just as a little start off to our talk here, I want to read to you the haiku that I wrote for today. And it's actually in my journal that's right next to me. So I'm going to put this down. And it has to do with a scarf that I'm wearing. This scarf, not written by, but made by my dear cousin, Karen Wazinski. So here is today's, and I did this right before I kind of started writing the script for today's live. So, tending the morning, heater blasting, snuggly scarf, hot tea, and haiku. And that's what it looks like in my journal. So I just have a habit of writing haiku most days. And I'm starting to notice, which I will speak about in this live, I'm starting to notice that sometimes when I don't do that, I feel like something's missing. So that thought kind of led me to some things I'm going to talk about today. So let me backtrack just a tiny bit. Last week, I did a live about embracing my fear factor and how stepping out of fear at some very pivotal times in my life really led me to some amazing turning points. Like, for example, finding my true love and finding my purpose in life, which is to teach. And I see Robin is here from Seattle. Thanks for joining in, Robin. But this week, and I'll tell you in a minute why I started thinking about this. This week, I almost went in a reverse way. In a way, stepping back to actually move myself forward in a better way. Stepping back from perpetual doing, which I'm really good at. I am not good at the pausing and just looking around and being still and letting my body speak to me or the universe or God speak to me. That is not necessarily one of my strong skills. And it's actually the absolute scarier thing for me than stepping out in some big, bold action, which sounds counterintuitive, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. So, next heading, why? Why did I start thinking about that after I spoke about stepping out of your fear into action last week? And I think those two things really actually go together. So one of the reasons I really started thinking about this is I am in the midst of teaching a class called 2020 Coup, which is setting our intentions for 2020, the year 2020, the year that is upon us and we're moving through, by writing a haiku that describes those intentions. And let me tell you, the beloved people in this group have stepped up to a totally advanced class. This is a pretty big challenge, and we have gone deep in there. So I'm super appreciative of that. And that deep thinking in that group has led me to notice that as I was doing a lot of pre-writing for my 2020 Coup, which I'll read to you in a second, as I was doing a lot of pre-writing for that, I realized that pausing and kind of scanning and resting and savoring kept coming up as much as doing the things and the action steps that move us forward. And so I really started thinking about that. And my haiku, which I'll read you now. I'm keeping it in a journal. It's right here. And my haiku for this class for 2020, the year 2020 is: pray, rest, act, savor. God and my body send signs. Pause to discern. And pause to discern is really something I'm landing on right now that's really resonating with me because I don't pause enough. And the irony of really ramping up my emerging, blossoming online business and teaching these online classes, which is, I know it's a love. I know it's something I want to do. I know it's the best way to reach people and help people fall in love with writing. But I also realized, oh, I haven't been writing my little daikus, my little day plus haiku, my little moments of pause in every day. And I've been feeling like completely overwhelmed and frantic. And I think that's really interesting. And what I noticed was missing was this little pause moment. So that has, and so that's led me to consider that pausing can actually be stepping out in fear too. And I just wanted to throw that tidbit out there. All right. So why does Daiku provide that little pause moment for me? I'm moving to a new section. It's called Daiku, Day plus Haiku, and I'm going to explain that. So for me, writing these little haiku, and everyone has their self-care in different ways, but for me, writing a Daiku is a total self-care moment. I've been using the hashtag 17 syllable self-care when I post mine on Instagram because I kind of reset, I transition. It gives me perspective. It's not something that I can prepare for or I have to do homework or research about. I pause, I look out before me, whether it's in nature or it's my dog. My dog is right next to me and she's just starting to snore. Like that would be a great haiku moment, right? Just that pause of lifting my head up, literally and figuratively, helps me take care of myself because I'm a perpetual doer and that can be dangerous. The other thing is it's reverent for me. It's almost like prayer because a lot of prayer, a big part of prayer is stillness and waiting and just listening and paying attention to the messages that we're getting, whether they're whispers or loud, like bricks in your face, right? The other thing about writing haiku, and this is going to be a very, very basic definition about what writing haiku is. And later in the year, when you see one of my plans, we'll take a deep dive into what haiku is. But haiku has got this very comforting structure of 3 lines. The first is 5 syllables, the second is 7 syllables, and the third is 5 syllables. It's this structure that allows me to get comfort from a boundary, kind of a security. Like I can just now focus on what I want to write about and just fit it into that. And it's kind of like stretching before you go for a run, right? It helps you in that longer distance, whether it's your day or another writing piece, or being with a certain person, whatever. It's just kind of that warm up that gets things going. So that's another thing. The other reason I love doing my Daiku is I do a lot of other writing, like trying to write books and essays and blog posts and things like that. And the Daiku just like triggers me into that. It is like, I mentioned that the comfort and how your body feels good with stretching before you run. For me, writing a quick haiku before I do bigger pieces, it just keeps my muscles ready to go and loose and receptive to what's coming ahead. The other thing is it's sustainable. It's so fast, right? And what you will see in the work that I do, hopefully with you in the future, what you'll see is um, I can teach you a lot about falling in love with the writing process through just haiku. Like, we don't have to write a novel, okay? We don't have to write a 5-paragraph essay with a thesis at the end. We can do it with haiku. You know that poem, and it was a book, like everything I really needed to know about life, I learned in kindergarten. Well, for me, everything you need to know about falling in love with the writing process, I can teach you with haiku. So that's why it's just got to be in my life. And it's been missing in the last month or two as much. So here's my next slide. Hold your horses. So basically, a couple nights ago, I kind of had a stress meltdown, and my family was just like, whoa, Lori, you just brought a lot of stress into this room. And my body's been kind of telling me that. I think God is telling me that. And so with action, we also want to have this balance of pause. And my action is I want to spread writing love. Man, that is it. I want to build an online business so I can do that and help as many people as possible. That just feels so thrilling and so right to me. But, oh, and I also want to lead in-person classes. That's what I really, really love doing too. Those two teaching areas. But I also think if I am talking about doing these Deiku and being chill, then hello, the teacher's got to do it too. Good teachers do what they're telling their students to do, and they do it well. And so that's really at the forefront of my thinking right now. So this leads me to a couple announcements. I got a plan. So I'm going to go to a slide right now because I want you to see what my little plan is. So this was a review of what Deiku is, what I was talking about. Self-care, reverent, comforting structure, sustainable, and builds writing muscles. But for me to keep doing that and really understand that, as I've been doing for the last 2 years, privately, really, I want to do this plan right now. And this is a 3-month plan, and hopefully it will include you joining me for this plan. So in February, I'm going to, because it's the shortest month, but this year it's a leap year, I'm going to write a haiku every day, and I will post it on Instagram on my Lori stories. And I may do live stories, or I may just do posts, but I will be there. It's at Lori_stories. The other thing, which starts next week, actually, is I am teaching a class called Family of Writers. Now, this is closed to registration. It's a local class in my community in Palos Verdes. And we have about 50 families coming to this class. It's a night class. Talk about helping people fall in love. It is a beautiful experience. And I totally want to focus on that. As I'm the teacher, but I'm also the learner. And I will bring things back from that experience that will inform my work here with you guys in this online space as well. Because my real goal in February is to discern best ways to serve you, to pause a little bit and to discern those best ways to serve you. And in Family of Writers, by the way, I think it's actually my 33rd season of doing this, because sometimes I did it 2 and 3 times a year. But I have done this class at least 30 times, 30th season. It's mind-blowing. I love it so much. Anyway, in March, on 3/3, I am going to debut my Tuesday at 10 live show. Now, in my brain, it's called 17 Syllable Self-Care, or 17SS. That's what it is so far, but it may change. And if anyone would like to give me feedback on a name for that, I was texting back and forth with one of my dear friends, Susan Raslav, last night or yesterday, and we came up in our conversation. She sent me a haiku that someone wrote, and when they were going to the emergency room, it was fabulous, by the way. in that conversation, I said haiku, rescue haiku, or haiku to the rescue. That might also be a title for this live show. But that live show will be on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, which is Spreading Writing Love. And then in March, in the beginning of March, probably actually the end of February, I will resume my Friday 3 Little Lines newsletter. And it's going to be short and sweet, give you links. And in the midst of all that, I might be redoing my website, or actually paying someone to do it. Anyone good at that? All right. So then in April, what I'm going to do is I am going to come out with my Haiku Basics Haiku 101 class. It's a free class. It will be April 14th, 21st, and 28th. And it will be broadcast live on my Spreading Writing Love page, probably Tuesdays at 10, but I'm not sure about that yet. I really have to refine the best times to reach all you guys. So that really is my path forward. And I know I'm talking about pausing, but I'm not going to be going as live in February. I'm not going to be doing my newsletter. I'm really going to develop these things. I will be showing up live or posting on my Instagram story. So I will be present. But this is the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is this is kind of scary for me, right? Like not to keep going live every week, whatever. But then come March 3rd, oh baby, I'm going to be live. Okay. So my gut has spoken. I'm still a doer. I'm not a dabbler. I'm all the way in with doing, but my doing is going to look a little bit different in February. So I just want to throw that out there to you guys as a possibility. What does our doing have to look like, right? Like, is it always intense action, or is it something else? So I would love you guys to ponder that question, to answer it in the way that fits you. It would be so, I'm just really intrigued by that. And I really have my 2020 Coup friends in that class to thank me for really thinking about that. I think it's time to think about that. So I am wrapping it up here. You can find me always at LoriTomWrites.com. That's my website. My Facebook writing page is at Lori Tom at Spreading Writing Love. And on Instagram, I'm at Lori_stories. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. And I hope you are thinking about stepping out to take action, stepping out of fear to take action, or pausing as another way to step out and take action and embrace your fear factors. All right. Have a great day, you guys. And before I totally say goodbye, I'm going to look at my comments here. But if you need to go, you can. But okay. So Robin, yay, a web developer. That is awesome. And Robin said, my doing must be flexible as I never know how I'm going to feel from moment to moment, day to day. So Robin is in a wheelchair, and she is newly in a wheelchair, and she's experiencing a lot of different parts of life right now. And so I love the idea of being flexible in our doing. Oh, that flexibility. I don't like flexibility. I like control and knowing what's ahead. Thus, this is scary for me. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will check comments on the replay. Have a wonderful day. Bye.